Philip Norbury. This is part 4 of the 10-minute teach. Are we hiding? So these videos are about feeling resistance, understanding what that resistance is about. For me, my experience with myself and other people is that small argument, i.e. we want life to be other than it is, in some way, one shape or form, some being, some event, past, future. And that takes us out of this moment. As Eckhart Tolle would say, the present moment is the most important thing. If we can work on our resistance, work on reaction, and become more response able. Many people have talked about this. Stephen Covey, and he was big around these things, and I've read a lot of his stuff. And it is really about being response able. If we can be response able, we're no longer in reaction to a program that we created. So being response able for me is to be able to sit back, look at a dashboard which includes personality that I became, which is not truthfully who I am. My personality was learned, and in many ways I wouldn't have designed certain aspects of it. And as we go on, we shape it, and hopefully it's a good one as we move forward. For me, it's about checking out these arguments, the small arguments that we might have, where any aspect of your life where you watch Donald Trump and he in any way starts to evoke something in you, then you want him and his actions to be other than they are. And that is an indication that you've got some healing to do, some resistance to shift, because that's reacting to how he is. You're in his power, or the power of whatever's behind him. And if we can observe that, not saying we condone it in any way, but let's not join and enhance the power of what that is. Let's move back inside and look at the power of what we are, at that core holding of what we are. Go within. That's the power of us. So if we work on our resistance through looking at small argument, large argument, and constantly work on that, then we can see that we react less and we are more response able. So I've done an awful lot of work on the reaction and being response able. And from there, for me, it's about taking that time, the free time that we've now got in our dashboard, to notice things that comes from reaction, process those things that are less helpful. And when we do work on those things, on the resistance, removing or dissolving resistance, we can move into what I call beneficial influence, and practicing that around how we are, around how we've learned to be, noticing that we've been told that we get old and things starts to malfunction. And that can be true for us, but we can also look at it from a different perspective, and how we grow depends on how we are in this moment. And what I mean by that is, we can look at ourselves and the operation of this being as one that produces cells, new cells every day. And we could be responsible about that, taking time to look at that, taking time to understand a little bit more about things like longevity enzymes, looking after our mobility, yoga, tai chi, those kind of things to keep us mobile. So we're clearing out resistance. We're looking at how better we might be, what we've been hiding, and our abilities, and what we've got to explore. One thing I think about is to do with, if you look at football teams, what can we do and take from how football teams operate? So many people follow football teams. I'm not a football fan particularly, but I use an analogy from that, in that if you have a stadium, two teams playing of equal talent, and one team has got 50,000 fans, the other team doesn't have any fans whatsoever. Most people's response to that, or reaction, whatever you want to call that, is that the people, or the side with more supporters would win. There's no physical assistance to that side, but I think without doubt most people answer without hesitation and say that the people with, or the team with supporters wins. And if we can take that then and move into what we're capable of, and that would appear to be influencing matter with our attention and placing our attention on things, and that's a great area for exploration for me. And if we think about beneficial influence and all of the other stuff that's going on out in the world, if we can think about replacing all of the stuff that is challenging and what we don't really want to design, then can we design a new model? What model would you design, and work around that and put all your power into creating a new model that makes the old one obsolete? That's a Buckminster Fuller saying. Don't fight the old model, create a new one that makes the old one obsolete. And I love that. I think that's where we are. We can observe what we've been doing all these years. We keep going through a cycle of peace, war, some love in the hippie times, but then we get back to this war cycle. And I think we have an awareness that we don't use. We get dragged into a war situation where we react to that, and all our power leaks into that. What we worry about inevitably brings what we don't want. And I think that's where we have to raise our awareness around that and divert our attention into the new model that we would all design. And that includes an influence, or an atmosphere of beneficial influence. So I think I've talked an awful lot about these areas, removing resistance, and then exploring the abilities that we've ignored. We've been very busy in life, and what we've been busy about, when we've been earning, focusing on money. One analogy I would bring to that is health and safety, where we've become so busy in business that health and safety became an issue. People were getting injured, and brought health and safety rules in, and lo and behold, people had less accidents. But what was the real problem around that? Well, were we just hurrying and rushing to make money under an economic model? And that resulted in us being reactionary. We weren't using our skills, which include safety. I think that's an important observation and another huge awareness. We can reverse out of this situation. Health and safety has been important, it's grown to be important, but it takes up an awful lot of our business time and creativity. So if we can be more responsible in business, and not being in urgency about what we need to do, and create a joyful experience. As Khalil Gibran said, work can be love made visible. And I think that's true. And as long as we can raise our awareness around being rushed into something where quality starts to subside, and I think that's the thing, we need to maintain our qualities. Need to. I noticed I used the word need to. We build a model where quality is the most important thing, so that when we, in this present moment, what we do, joy flows into that. That's the end of part 4 of the 10-minute teach. Thank you.